Hopefully that counted as finishing the quest.
Touching down.
Listen up. I'm your contact in the trench. We need to follow my instructions or you end up worse than dead inside the rat pits. I'm sending you a location to meet me at. If you can make it there without dying, you will be just fine. Get back before sun. I appreciate. I'm sure. Let's just anyone navigate the fanatic. There's it. We'll get in contact.
Hello. Then you a god. You let me. But fine if. Oh, I believe that. I forgive. Oh, I. And what the Lord there are.
Potato. But
Past here, this, all the cap I've got. If you go straight, it's your.
go away. Oh. Tactical nuke incoming!
Here we go. It's killing time.
I can just speed run this like that.
I'll dump you with the rest of the world.
Oh, go away. What? There's one downstairs. What? There's one here. That was easy. Sir, please stop it. This is not a good look for you. Okay. Oh my god. Oh wait. Do a little bit of parkour. And I gotta pee, fuck.
this really my only choice?
I got half of my body inside of that apartment before he looked at me and he was like, yo, you want a dab? 14-year-old me did not even know what a dab was, but like I explained at the start of the story, I would have done acid the second it got asked me with no questions asked. I was looking to do absolutely anything. So I was like, oh yeah, bet, let me do that, right? They bring me inside, they take me over to where the dab station is. They had like this dragon, it was a glass dragon, it was one of the coolest dab setups I'd ever
Oh,
seen.
for fuck's
They started
sakes.
lighting up this dragon, and it's the mouth that you have to like suck off of, and then like the tails where the dab actually went or something. I don't really remember, I was faded, and this was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, but I go up in there, I start taking that dab. They light this thing until it is flaming hot red. This is the hottest dab I'd ever taken. It was my first dab. So I go to take this thing. It literally feels like this dragon is spitting flame into my lungs. I'm taking this like, right? I'm like tweaking, right? I start coughing up a storm. Like it starts to get so bad. And so I'm sitting there coughing my lungs out, and then everybody else goes around and they all start taking dabs as well. After everybody took their dab, me and Brian went to go sit down on the front couch. But the setup to this apartment was super weird. Like I explained, it was not a nice place. This place was a trap home. They had 2 couches in there, and they were both right behind each other. They were not no type of setup. It was literally TV, couch, and if my memory serves me right, over on the back right side of like their living room, there was some type of air mattress or bed, and also like some chair. It was a weird setup, but this was a weird place. So I mean, it fit, right? So me and Brian go to sit on this couch to the wall, and we sit down on there, and I feel like I instantly start changing to this couch because I don't know why, but stoners see you taking your first dab as some type of initiation. They try to get you as baked as possible, and they did to me. They gave me one of the biggest dabs I've ever taken, and it was my first dab. They lit this thing up so hot that it felt like I didn't even know what was going on. So I was I feel like across my entire body. As this feeling spreading across my body, I feel myself fusing into this couch. Like me and this couch feel like I am taken out of my mind. You're on that bar
What? on this game. I was literally facing down on the game for I honestly don't know how long. I have no idea how long. I had that back of my head I just forced myself and I was facing down on this game. All of a sudden, Ryan's right next to me. And he gets up and goes, that's when I realized how fucking hungry I am. Because I've been sitting on this couch just facing out watching this game, not even thinking about anything. I hear the word food, I would have started eating that second I heard that. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so hungry. And so all of a sudden Brian gets up, he goes to make his hot pocket. I'm sitting on this couch and I don't even know if I can get up. I was baked out of the my entire body, all of a sudden, the smell of Brian's hot pocket he was cooking starts wafting over to me. And just like a cartoon, like smelling over that pot starts floating over there, this made me gain the ability to just get up and start doing whatever I wanted. It felt like it snapped me out of a trance. Instantly, I smell that hot pocket, music's cut off, I get detached from that couch, just jump up, and I'm like, oh, I'm ready, I need a hot pocket. So I start going over there to go cook a hot pocket, because Brian just took his out of the microwave, but my stoned ass did not know what I was doing. I just opened up a freezer, I see the hot pocket, oh, hell yeah. I grab that, throw it on a plate, slap it in the microwave for like 4 to 4.5 minutes, because I just remember thinking, I'm like, oh, I just want to make sure this is cooked. I don't want a cold hot pocket. Cold hot pockets are so gross. So I sit there, I'm staring at this microwave, and I'm just like, I don't even remember what I was thinking. I'm just so baked that I'm just going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into my mind. Like, there's one thought that happens, and all of a sudden I see another thought inside that. I'm just going deeper and deeper into basically like a Russian nesting doll type of thing until I'm not even, like, here anymore. There's lights on, but nobody's home. I'm just thinking, right? And so all of a sudden, the microwave just starts beeping. I didn't even know that the full 4 minutes had passed, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, if it starts popping or anything, I'll just take it out early. I did not do none of that. The 4 minutes is up. All started speaking. I'm like, oh, Hot Pocket's ready. So I open up the microwave, grab that out, and I start walking back over to that couch where Brian's at. And so I go to start eating this Hot Pocket, but it was damn near the temperature of the sun. My baked ass didn't care though. I didn't even realize. I just started eating this. My first bite that I took, steam was pouring out of the Hot Pocket and steam was coming out of my mouth as I ate it. And I continued to eat this thing. The cheese in this Hot Pocket was probably well past boiling temperature. I am burning the ever-living shit out of my mouth. I'm gonna sit there doing that. Sound like a fucking rabid dog getting food for the first time in a couple months while I'm eating this, trying to suck as much air into my mouth as possible to cool it down. I finished that Hot Pocket in less than a minute. Brian, keep in mind, Brian got his Hot Pocket 4 minutes before mine even came out of the microwave. I finished mine before he did, and that's what made me realize that how quick I ate that Hot Pocket. I'm like, oh, this is not good. And the thing was, I kept feeling like my mouth was like slightly like hot, you know what I'm saying? But then Brian was like, how did you eat that so fast? That thing was literally steaming. Your mouth has got to be burnt. He says that, and all of a sudden I start opening my mouth. I'm like, oh god, my mouth hurts so bad. My mouth is burnt as hell. Oh my god, it's bad, it's so bad. My mouth was burnt as shit, but I really couldn't realize it because I was still flying off this dab, and I could only feel my mouth in pain when I really focused on it. So I kind of just sat back down, kind of laughed it off, and just faced off at that TV until suddenly I started to feel less and less baked and more in pain. And as I was coming down off this dab, the sun was also coming down and starting to set, so I realized that I needed to start to get home soon. So I was feeling so tired and out of it, because the thing is, your first, like, the come down off of bleach in general, it makes you tired, it makes you, like, whatever, right? To come down off your first dab, though, that will make you want to go and curl into a ball in your bed and go into hibernation for 13 years. You get so tired off that first come down from a dab that you could probably fall asleep standing up. So I'm damn near nodding off on the couch, and I'm like, oh my god, no, I need to get going home. And I look outside, it's starting to get dark. I'm like, okay, this is bad, I need to get on my bike. So eventually I say peace out to Brian, you know, I say like bye to everybody, get on my bike, I start pedaling home, right? And so the whole time I'm going home, I'm pretty mad because I can't stay until a party's gonna happen. More people were starting to pull up while I was there, and I could tell it was gonna be a fun night, and I just could not be there for it. So every like 5 yards I go, every 5 yards I pedal, I start feeling more and more sober and in more pain. There was not a single crevice of my mouth that was not excruciating pain from this Hot Pocket. That Hot Pocket successfully destroyed every taste bud I had and my entire tongue, as well as my gum line and anything that stood between its way from my mouth to my stomach. That thing was boiling hot. Like, I cannot stress enough how hot that Hot Pocket was. And I was also starting to get cotton mouth the more I was riding that bike, which just made my tongue literally feel like the cracking dry dirt in the Sahara Desert. I felt like the entire thing was breaking open. I felt like I was going to start bleeding from my mouth. I'm not even, it was so unbelievably painful. But the more I'm riding towards my house, the more I'm sobering up. Like every 5 yards, like I said, I'm sobering up more and more. And I'm just getting so tired. Like I'm questioning if I'm even going to seem like I'm sober by the time I get to my house because I feel so out of it. And I'm also starting to just get more and more mad while I'm riding home because like this is like one time that I get to do something fun. Like I've been grounded on every major holiday for the past 2 years, including my own birthday. This is the first fun thing I get a chance to do, and I can't even fully enjoy it. This made me so unbelievably mad inside that right then and there, I decided I'm sneaking out tonight, no matter what. Doesn't matter if there's a smoke, I'll go find one. You know, like, I'm doing something fun tonight, regardless of what is going on. I do not
Let's
care.
go. Welcome to the pit.
And I was so...
You didn't complete it. No.
We're having to talk to them. So I went straight to my room, and then I decided I was going to take a bath, because if I went to the bathroom, I could take a long bath, I could get on my phone, I could be baked, they would not go in there, they couldn't see what I was doing, I couldn't get in any trouble. And I will never forget going in there, getting in that bath, to go and try and text people on Snapchat to find more moves to do. I fell asleep and woke up underwater. I woke up underwater, I literally opened my eyes and I couldn't breathe, and I just popped back up and I didn't even know what happened. Like, I was so terrified, I was so shocked, I'm like, what is going on? I got out of the bath right then and there. I'm like, I am apparently too fucked up to take a bath. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I woke up underwater, and I was so confused, like, how long was I underwater? How was I not breathing in? So many questions, but like, I was just happy that nothing happened, obviously. I didn't breathe in any water, so I got out of that bath, I went to my room, and I got on my phone to start texting people. I stayed there for the rest of the night, and I was just so sad, so defeated. I'm just sitting there just feeling empty, feeling depressed, because like,
Right here.
Hey folks, this is how we're gonna get the Troglodyte achievement. It requires you to kill 100 Trogs with the Autolex. This is gonna be from the Ashes to Fire mission. And this is how we're gonna primarily do it. You're gonna want to head inside towards the sanctum.
They're taken care of.
Turn left, you'll see your first Trog. Kill him. You're gonna jump down towards the right. Kill him, coming out. There's gonna be some spawning on you. There'll be turrets you're gonna want to shoot with your ranged weapons, but you can get a lot easier if you're using your Autolex. Straight ahead, you'll see a Trog that's gonna come out of the small lake crypt or cave. Turn left and turn right. You'll be in an open area where some more Trogs will spawn. After you clear them out, just head straight. You're gonna see more coming out of that small little crack. In this room that we just entered, there's gonna be plenty of Trogs, almost about 10. Please see if we dispose of them. More in that small room as well. A few more Trogs. This should be it as of mopping up. Then you'll want to leave the pit, and you can rejoin with no problem at all. There's no penalty for leaving or rejoining. It'll save at your checkpoint. As you enter, just head on straight. Just follow the path that I take. Also take note that I run fast because I take mutations, and I just generally know the area.
Hello, and welcome to Jumpin' Johnny Gaming. This Fallout 76 video is going to show you how to get the Seek and Refuge achievement or trophy that was added in the Pit update. You have to help 10 people around the newly converted White Springs. This does not mean the daily quests that help you get an expedition. Once a day, when you are in the White Springs, you can pick up one missing quest from someone that's always on the main floor of White Springs. Sometimes you have to do a bit of searching around, and they are very quick quests, ranging from fixing robots to taking photographs. Now it's going to take you the minimum of 10 real-life days, as you only get one missed quest at a time, and you will have to wait until server reset to get the next one. And it has to be done on the same character as well.
I don't want to get stuck with your mutation.
A safe haven filled with people trying to help others? Feels like I'm dying and going to heaven. Or hell, you look out the window.
I got a chuckle out of Rucker yesterday. Success.
Does anyone have a minute to spare? I need someone to take my photo. Is there anyone around who can take a photo of me? Excuse me, would you mind? Get high. Get hydrated.
Because, like, I spent this entire week preparing, working, trying so hard to set up as many moves as possible, so that way nothing would fall through and I would have a fun day on Halloween. But somehow, every single thing had fallen through, and nothing was working out. At this point, I had hit up almost every single person in the state of Idaho, and not a single person was responding. Every single text that I did get a response to, I couldn't even manage to get to wherever the party was, whatever the move was, nothing was working out. So I was starting to get super upset looking at my phone, thinking I was just going to have to stay at home for the rest of the night, until eventually I look at my phone and I get a text from this one chick I had hit up a couple hours ago. She was telling me that she was staying over at her friend's house, but she was willing to sneak out of her friend's house, meet up, and do some things. I was 14 years old, and staring at this text felt like holding the goddamn holy grail, because you see, the thing was, me and my friend James had a bet to see who could lose our virginity first, all the way back since 7th grade. A couple months prior to this, he had beat me, and so at this point, I already lost the bet. It was just about of like how big the gap between us was gonna be, and I would be damned if that was a big old gap. So I was trying to get that close quick and get this done. So I was staring at that text. I was giddy as hell. I was so happy, just waiting to fucking sneak out. So I jumped out of my bed. I started throwing together my sneaking out uniform. But the thing was, it was 11 o'clock, and I had to wait a good 2 hours until I went to meet up with this chick. So I was just laying out my uniform, getting ready for the night. And where I live in October, the nightly temperature on average is well below freezing. So I had to get together a bunch of clothes just to make sure that I was not cold, and then I laid that all out on the ground to get ready to sneak out. is after I laid everything out on the ground, I jumped up in my bed and started patiently waiting, because I still had 2 hours until I was able to sneak out, go meet up at this park with this chick, and so time was going to move so slow, and I knew it was about to, so I started thinking of every single potential outcome that could come from me sneaking out, because I needed to move as smart as possible, because a month to a month and a half prior to this, it was literally the night before my first day of high school. I decided to sneak out. I was actually going to meet up with this same chick and go do the same type of things, and so I go to sneak out of my house. As I'm exiting my neighborhood, a cop turns down the street into my neighborhood. Like, could not have been worse timing. I'm getting up to the stoplight. They turn from that stoplight and start coming into my neighborhood. And so I see that cop. I'm like, oh, I can't panic. I'll just start walking up to this house, act like I live in this house. So I start doing that, walking up to this random house because it was well past midnight, and so they could just arrest me. They was obviously trying to talk to me. So I walk up to the house. I get to the front door. The cop stops at the end of their driveway, and we're just staring at each other, locking eyes, me and this like chick. And so I'm staring at her, she's staring at me, and I'm like giving her this kind of look like, what are you doing? Why are you looking at me trying to go in my house? Like, get away from me, you're being weird. I'm trying to give off that vibe, till suddenly she stomps on the gas and just starts going away. So I'm like, that was a little weird. I don't trust this. So I peek my head around the corner. That's when I see that she has her lights on now and is turning around to come right back down to that same house, except for with the passenger end on my side now. So I'm this is not good, but that was literally the stupidest thing she could have done, was just lose, like, literally just go down the street and lose sight on me to come back around to your siren. Just turn them on right there. What are you doing? Literally, she did that. I knew. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get arrested if I do anything. So I just hopped into the backyard of that house, started running through their backyard, hopped over another backyard. I accidentally ended up in an outside dog kennel. Scared me so bad. I literally woke up the dog. He started, like, barking, and so I jumped over the kennel. I actually broke the kennel. Like, I fell outside of the kennel over it on, like, my back type of thing. And then after that, I hopped over their fence into the actual street, and that's when I saw the cops going down. So I was playing a game like...
Damn it. Hey, stranger. Over here. And casual. Perfect. Listen. We've been hoodwinked. I can see. Look. Okay, that's why I need your help. Found this old camera on it. It's broken. The suspect is where... Remember. That's the path. Get that photo. The fate of the white...
My friends didn't want to join up with me. Said the responders sounded like too much work. Wonder what...
I'm playing a game of cat and mouse with this cop, and I'm still in my neighborhood. By my house, and so I just start sprinting. I'm hopping fences. I eventually get back home. I kept seeing that cop throughout my neighborhood, and then so I didn't even end up actually getting to go meet up with the chick after this. I stayed at my house, tried to sneak out. It was like 3, 4 in the morning, so I'm like, nope, I'm just cooked. I'm done for. I can't do anything. I won't get back home in time. So I ended up just going upstairs, getting in my bed, going to sleep. The next day, my dad's like, hey, Owen, why do you have over 7,000 stops, average heart rate of like 90 beats per minute, and I can't even remember how many miles I had ran. But it was all on my Apple Watch. My Apple Watch basically snitched on me. My dad was just asking me what I did, and I'm like, oh, I was just super nervous. I had first day of high school today. I just really was nervous. I was up pacing around all night. I don't know why. He got mad at me for like being up late and pacing around, but he completely believed my story. So I was like, oh, okay. But I just had to move extremely smart because I did not want a repeat of what that night did. I was trying to make sure that I was moving as smart as I possibly could, just playing as many scenarios in my head, thinking of any potential outcome or problem that I could run into when sneaking out. But as long as I moved smart, the only problem I could think of was simply just the cold and running into cops. So I just made sure I had extra clothes, and I should be good, because my Apple Watch also would not be an issue because I was grounded from my phone and everything, including my Apple Watch, so I literally had nothing. That wouldn't be an issue. So I was thinking I was going to be good. And as I'm thinking about all this, I'm starting to realize it's getting later into the night, and I will be able to sneak out fairly soon. And time has been moving so goddamn slow this entire day. Like, from going to the party, that time moved. From going to the party, now it's moving real slow, and now time is moving even slower from a combination of fear of something going wrong when I sneak out and the excitement of about to lose my virginity. Like, the excitement I felt for losing my... Like, literally, I was yin and yang. I had all my terrible energy about getting caught and all my positive energy about, oh, you about to lose this. So I was like, I had so many emotions going through my body as this was happening, but I just hyped, you know? I basically already had preemptive adrenaline flowing through me before I'm even going to sneak out. So I texted the chick to let her know that I would be leaving the house soon, and once I left my house, I would not be able to text because my phone only worked in Wi-Fi since it was a burner I stole from my parents. But I need to make sure she's seen this text, so I texted her like 30 minutes before I was about to leave just to make sure nothing could go wrong. Because if I had sent that text right when I was about to leave and I left the house and all of a sudden she tries to text back being like, oh no, I can't go anymore, I would just be out in the night pointlessly walking for no reason at all. So I need to make sure that everything was good, everything was solid. She ended up replying fairly quickly, just being like, okay, sounds good, like I'll let you know, let me know when you leave. And so I was like, bet, okay. Then I just waited in my bed. I was back to the waiting game. I had like 30 more minutes until I was gonna leave, but those last 30 minutes felt just as long as that hour and a half I was waiting. I was just sitting there, just so excited to leave and lose my virginity. Every time was moving so slow. I could feel every single second passing by. But finally, 20 minutes passed. I had like 10 minutes until I was about to leave and try to go to this park. And so I sprung out of bed, threw on my entire sneaking out uniform, and then started making a dummy setup in my bed because my dad would very consistently throughout my entire life just come up to my room and open my door while I was sleeping. Like literally from like baby age up until I got kicked out of his house. He was always doing that. And so I would make sure that my dummy setup was like, I would fall asleep with hoodies on very consistently. So it really helped me making a dummy setup. I was trying to make this thing look as perfect as possible. I would get a body pillow and then I would put a hoodie over that body pillow, and then in the hood of the actual hoodie, I would put a bucket hat to make it look like a full head was actually in there. Then I would put that underneath the covers and sometimes even put some extra pillows or extra things out down at the end to make it look like my legs were spread out. It literally looked like a full human in the bed, and it worked perfectly every single time. And so after I set up my dummy setup, I grabbed my shoes and I started creeping out of the hallway. I was trying to be as quiet as possible because my door creaked pretty loudly, and so once I got that open, that wasn't even the least of my worries. The floorboards of my house were like the wooden panels that you click in together, and they are so creaky, especially because they were already over other wood that was even more creaky. So it just creaks on creaks on creaks, and I would have to jump around on the balls of my feet to try to be as quiet as possible. After I got past that hallway, I would have to work my way over to where my sliding door was located, and I had 2 dogs and a stepmom that were all 3 extremely light sleepers. So if I fucking made that door too loud and I was opening it, I was caught. I was done for. So I had to be extremely quiet when I would open that up, and then the second I would step outside, I would put my shoes on outside to once again be even more quiet. Then I would start walking out towards like my fence line to hop it. But I am not very superstitious about many things.
Now we're
one
talking.
thing I am extremely superstitious
this
about
means
was
I'll
taking
put in
a
a
piss
good
in
word.
the corner of my yard before I snuck out. And I know it sounds stupid as hell, and it kind of is. But this all started because way back in the day, me and James, when we would go to sneak out, we would always stop in the corner of my yard and start taking a piss.
Does anybody in
was
this
for a couple
goddamn place
reasons.
understand
This
the
one
concept?
was that way we would not have to go to the bathroom while we were going out because we didn't know what was going to happen the second we hopped over that fence. And going to the bathroom, we did not want to have to do if we had to run, do anything. So we would just get our bladders emptied right there. The second reason was if we stopped down there to take a piss, if my parents caught us sneaking out and went outside to go check on things, we could easily act like we were just going to the garage to get a drink from like inside of the garage because there was a fridge in there with drinks. So there was a couple reasons why we did it, but also the fact that we were convinced we would get caught by either our parents or cops if we did not piss in there, because almost every single time that we got caught with stuff, it was because we didn't take a piss in that corner. Like the night that I almost got caught sneaking out to go meet up with that one chick first night of school, I didn't take a piss in that yard, almost got caught up. The night of the marathon video, also did not piss there, almost got caught up. So I was making sure that I pissed in that corner because I did not want to risk a single thing. And after that was done, I hopped over my fence, and there was a series of motion lights and cameras both on my house and the neighbor's house right next to me. So there was a very specific route I always took to avoid setting off any of these cameras or motion lights. But this time I had to take a bit of a different route because remember at the beginning of the story when I was riding back from that kickback and I was super upset, you know, I was just like, I'm definitely going to sneak out tonight. Like I'm going to do something. I do not care. I don't care if there's nothing to do. I will go out and I will find something to do, right? Well, when I got home, I decided to not put my bike in the garage. I decided to put it like propped up on the outside of my garage. I wasn't expecting any cameras, any people, or just any of the motion lights. And so by doing that, that meant that I could most likely get wherever I need to go way faster, and I was just preparing myself for that. And so once I hopped over the fence, I had to grab my bike. This was just the start of my process though, because now I have a bike in my hands and I have to jump over my fence and hop this thing into my neighbor's driveway in order to avoid setting off the Ring camera that was right above my garage. And so once I hopped over that fence, it was a challenge. This had me feeling like I was competing in some type of triathlon, like Ironman or something. I was already gassed before I could even get on my bike. So after I got off of their driveway, I ran down to the road and I went to hop on my bike and I set off for the elementary school we were meeting up at. And I mean, that sounds so bad, but like, if y'all were wondering why we chose an elementary school to go to, that's because there was nowhere else to go. Zero options, you know what I'm saying? Because she was staying over at her friend's house, and so we couldn't just go in her friend's fucking house and like go know, in her room where she was sleeping or anywhere else in the house. Nowhere else was open, so we could just go to like some random place and just bang it out there. Not that that's good or anything, like not that you should do that, but like there were no other options. And this elementary school was directly next to her friend's house, and not only that, but right next to the elementary school, literally like there was barely, I don't even think there was like a fence line like blocking it. There was about 6 to 8 soccer fields, like all right next to each other, like 4 and then 4, and it was just a completely dark space where no lights were going to be on at night, and it would be a really good spot for us to just meet up, and we probably would not be seen there. And so I go to set off to the soccer field in the like elementary school, and it is freezing cold. Every gust of wind I can feel cutting straight through like the 3 layers that I have on, which is 2 hoodies and a shirt. And not only that, but my hands felt like they were already about to turn red and like go numb from pain from the cold already. But thankfully, I had a pair of wool socks in my pocket that I would always wear whenever I snuck out and it was too cold for my hands. Because especially being on this bike, it was going to make my hands way more cold by just riding through this cold air. And so I went to slap on those socks onto my hands. And to be honest, I don't know why I always use socks, because I had bare minimum 3 pairs of snow gloves or just types of gloves that I had access to and in my room, but I still chose to just use wool socks. I really don't know why. But then again, clearly by the decisions I'm making, we know the best decisions were not always made by me, so I mean, it kind of fits. But thankfully, I had a bunch of layers on my body as well as a ski mask for my face, so I knew no matter how cold it was, I was going to be good for this ride. Especially since it was only about 2 miles away from my house, so like a 15-minute bike ride, give or take, and so I start pedaling on there as fast as I can. Listen.
We'd like you to connect us to. Any members available can report to this. Pod stop.
I don't have X-Men.